Hi, this is Miriam from grannyketo.com, and I just wanted to do a YouTube video today. Today, when I did my Facebook Live, please come to Granny Keto LLC on Facebook. I was talking about making keto very natural, that there's many ways to do keto, and we'll talk about that. I already have a little bit when I talked about one meal a day and what is lazy keto and all of that. But the other thing I want to talk about and what I want to work on with you all here is trying to make keto more of just a real life situation. You're going to be at a restaurant, you might not necessarily whip out your scale. God help me, when I was in Weight Watchers, I brought a food scale with me to the supermarket, and I had it in my bag in the basket of the shopping cart, and I had it, up on some stuff, and where nobody could see me, I would take a baked potato. I think you were allowed 10 ounces, was 10 ounces raw was maybe 3 points or whatever it was, and I took it and I put it and I weighed it. I don't ever want to be like that again. And I'm not saying that there's not a lot in between doing something like that and then, uh, going crazy, but I want to not be like that again. And I want to help you not be like that again. And so, what I want to do is say, if you're not keto yet, and the thought of doing all of this, like, I just can't, then I suggest you look into Granny Keto's Transitions program. The first thing is no sugar and no baked goods. That's easy enough. You just cut that out. You're not writing down what you're eating, you're not tracking what you're eating, you're not balancing things out. You're just stopping the sugar and the baked products. This is step one for Granny Keto Transitions program. Come to my website. I have a lot of information about it. And I also suggest that you sign up to receive the newsletter, which I'm doing one this afternoon when I'm done with this, because there's a lot of good information there about making it real. But what I wanted to do today was show you how you start making it real. Yes, when you do keto, you have to be aware of either 20 total carbs. Some people have net carbs. Some people can go a little over that without a problem. But meanwhile, how do you deal with it? So I have some clients, and their very first meeting with me was, oh my God, broccoli has so many carbs. All right, well, it does if you count total. If you watch my video that's on my website, total versus net, making a combination of the two, you'll see that when it comes to natural foods, I like to count net, because it's not like you're eating Halo Top ice cream and there's maybe, or an Atkins bar, and there's maybe 23 net carbs, and then they say, what, there's only 3 carbs. No, there's 23 carbs. But when you're eating broccoli and you're talking about real food, it's a little bit different. So I have my notes here because I don't want to forget anything. So 1 cup of broccoli is 11.2 carbs total and 6.1 net. And then somebody says, how can I eat only 1 cup of broccoli? All right. In my old Weight Watchers days, I would have taken this and I would have smushed it down and like cut it so but this is a cup. Call this a cup. Now, what does this look like? All right. I changed the dishes I eat on. That is a very valuable Weight Watchers thing that I did learn. Eat on smaller dishes. It makes a difference. So here's this plate, and this is a cup of broccoli. All right. You put it on this plate, and that's really a lot of broccoli. Plus, you're going to put on butter. You're going to put on salt. You're going to eat slowly. Okay, so this is plenty of broccoli. Now, what about snacks? Pepperoni makes a really good snack. Okay, so this is what an ounce of pepperoni looks like. All right, I'm in my own house. I can hold it with my own hands. Let's put this on the plate. All right. What does pepperoni have? Pepperoni, no carbs, protein 5, fat 13. Good ratio. All right. What kind of snack is that? I need cheese. Ta-da! an ounce of hard cheese. Now, what's very funny is I took that out of the fridge and I took a knife and I sliced it and I put it on the scale and I went, woo, an ounce of cheese. I got to tell you, the longer you do this, the more accurate you're going to be with eyeballing it. So how is this for a snack? Let's spread out that pepperoni even more, okay? So this is a cup of broccoli. Oh, I'm backwards. Cup of broccoli, an ounce of pepperoni, an ounce of cheese. And what was the stats on cheese? 0.4 carbs. Now, see, these are incidental carbs. These are things I mean, they add up. They add up. You don't want to eat, 20 ounces of cheese and say, well, it's just incidental carbs. But it's minimal, okay? Protein 7.1, fat 9.4. Oh, I didn't do the addition okay, so let me just do the addition in my head. So this plate, which could be a whole lunch, forget about a snack. And I will be talking about the fact that the longer you do keto, the less you're going to snack. And so this is going to be a meal. But it's 6.1 carbs, because I'm counting net on the broccoli. Protein, it was 7.1 for the cheese and 5. So it's 12.5 carbs. Oh, 12.1 carbs for the protein. And the fat was 13 plus 9 is 24, and 24 fat. So this is perfect. Now you say, all right, but I'm starting keto and I'm on the road and I for sure don't have measuring cups or scales. This is where your deli meat comes in. Stop it with the turkey and the chicken breast already. You go for roast beef and you go for pastrami. You go for corned beef. I happen to have here pastrami. So I took it out and said, oh, that looks like 4 ounces. I weighed it. And that's a lot of pastrami. That's 4 ounces of pastrami. Let's look at pastrami. Pastrami, 0 carbs, okay? And 24.4 protein. I don't know whether I wrote 14 or 24, but 24, that sounds right. And fat, 6.6. There's not a lot of fat. If you get roast beef and you get corned beef, that'll be a little bit more fat. But this is really generous. What does this come to? Again, wash my hands. It's my own food, my own house. Ta-da! Handful. 4 ounces. Okay? And I want to talk about one other thing when we're talking about learning to eyeball. We buy, this happens to be lamb, you'll see it's lamb, but we also buy grass-fed organic beef, and we get it a lot of times packaged like this if the counter doesn't have the fresh grass-fed. So this is a pound. Cut it here. Well, cut it here. This is anyone who's never done a video and looks at themselves and try to do it, you understand what I'm doing here. But this is a half, and this is a quarter. So you take this, that's a quarter burger. Okay, you flatten it out. I could have done that in advance, but I didn't. I said, let me show you how to cut this. This is what I do. I do this to a pound of meat. So this happens to be lamb, so it's a little bit fattier, but the stats on it is 20 fat, which is really good, okay? Total carbohydrate, 0. Protein, 19 grams. Now, I want to talk about grams because I get this question a lot, and I see it a lot in Facebook. When you weigh something, the 4 ounces, you can't read it, but this is where you see it on your label or anything. 4 ounces, 113 grams. That's scale weight. So when you have your scale and you put 4 ounces, it's going to say 113. That is not the grams of protein in the 113 grams of weight, okay? This meat has water in it, it has fat in it, there's other elements. It's not pure protein. I don't know anything that is pure protein. That if you had 113 grams of protein, it would also, in weight, that it would also be 113 grams of protein. So what you need to do is sort of eyeball. Okay. Now I went to a restaurant and I'm really sorry I didn't keep, what I did is I asked for a takeout container as soon as I got my meal. And I had gotten one of those iceberg wedges with the bacon and the blue cheese. I cut that in half and I put it in the container. And I got a bacon cheddar cheeseburger. No roll, of course. Cut it in half, put it in my container. I knew by looking at it, it was about 6 or 8 ounces of meat, okay? So I knew that it was a little, no, it's not that I couldn't have eaten it. I could have, but I knew I would enjoy it for lunch the next day, so I brought it home. So this is how you begin to eyeball things. You take a pound of meat, you quarter it, or you take a third of it. You figure out what it is, a third of it. You take a cup of broccoli and put it on a smaller plate. You're going to learn what an ounce of cheese is. You're never going to have to put this on the scale again. All of these slices, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12. So there's about 15 or 18 slices of pepperoni, and they're always the same. Unless you get the big I don't know if it's the margarita, but the big slices of pepperoni, they're all like this and they're all thin like this. Okay, but I want to tell you something because I read a client's food log this morning and he's still eating turkey bacon. Stop that. I wrote down the information for him. But apparently, oh yeah, no, I did turkey pastrami. And there were 4.2 carbs in it, as opposed to 0 carbs for the beef. So it's the same thing. Stay away from the turkey bacon. Stay away from the sliced turkey. I know after all of these years of Weight Watchers and dieting and all of this, we live on turkey breast. Stop it. Go for the meat. All right. So this is sort of how you get started. The very first getting started is this. And remember, it's transitions. So if you don't want to jump right into keto, actually, keto is sort of step 6. It means you've done everything already. But you can work your way up. I work with you. If you want to work with me as a coach, I can work with you on any of these steps, or I can work with you all the way up to keto. You can say, like a couple of clients I have now, we're just doing keto from the start. So they're doing all of this, but they did all of that the first week. So it's easy to start. If you don't even want to start with the ounce of cheese and what is 4 ounces of pastrami, look, just please cut out the sugar and no baked products. Oh, and deli meat. In addition to the staying away from the turkey breast and the chicken breast, you can have ham, but some have much more sugar than others. So I wouldn't get the deli ham unless you know what it is, like the Virginia maple baked ham. I mean, obviously that's packed with sugar. I think if you get the plain boiled ham, you're probably not looking at any carbohydrates. The deli counter, I will tell you, you know how they always have the packaged meat? Just say, can I look at one of the packages that isn't opened? And you can just look at that package and see. And if it says, 8 carbs per 4 ounces or what, it's not for you. Okay, but do have the red meats. Don't fear them anymore. Don't fear the pork products. And I'm not even saying fear the turkey and the chicken. Just don't eat it 7 days a week. Just cut that out. So anyway, listen, this was just my first video on this topic. I just wanted to get you used to what do serving sizes look like. Plus, there's no harm in writing this down when you're starting keto. But I know I can eat this much broccoli in a day. I may not couple it with a green salad. All right. If I've had salad at lunch, I'll have broccoli at dinner, but I won't have salad at lunch and salad at dinner and broccoli for dinner. However, that's another whole can of worms about whether or not you should even be counting leafy green vegetables. But if you're not comfortable right off the bat jumping into green vegetable freedom, you can have some at every meal. And I would, and even at breakfast, I would throw not a few, but a couple of handfuls of spinach, cook it down, crack your egg on top of it. You can do that. You can become. So anyway, that is the first video on eyeballing food to be successful with keto. And not an introduction, but urging you to at least start with step one if you're new and you're a little bit overwhelmed by everything that is involved with keto. Keto can become natural and comfortable. At least cut out your sugars and baked products and go to your foods that you like. Pick a few things that you like. Weigh them out, see what they look like, mark them down, how many carbs, fat, protein, and pretty soon you'll be doing this with no problem at all. So again, come visit grannyketo.com and be sure to come to my Facebook page. And a newsletter is probably going out in the next couple of days, so make sure you're signed up. Thanks very much.